Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Since November is almost here, it is time to make my November TBR. I just love making TBRs so much. Even though I don't stick to them exactly, I still just like having an idea of what I want to read and like the mood that I'm in for reading. I have a few books picked out already that are on my mind, on my radar, that I will read in November probably no matter what, but I thought we could use the TBR jar to pick the rest of them. I have like 6 or 7 books already picked out that I have in mind, so I thought we could pick out like another 6 or 7 TBR prompts. So let's just get into it. Prompt number 1. A book with a title that includes a color. Ooh, this one's interesting. See, I made these prompts in September, I think, so I don't even remember all of them, to be honest, but it's like a new thing every month then. Includes a color. Okay. So we do have The Scarlet Letter, which I've kind of been putting off. I don't know. This is a classic, and I feel like every time I read it, I read the first few pages, and I'm like, I don't know if I have the brain power for this right now. And then also, the first like introduction, it's not even an official chapter of the book, is 30 some pages. So I feel like I just can't get past that right now. So this is a good contender because scarlet is a color. We also have Tress of the Emerald Sea as a contender, obviously emerald being the color. And this is more so like a cozy fantasy. And it'd be an introduction to Brandon Sanderson for me, so that could be really fun as well. Okay, honestly, after looking over my whole TBR shelf, I feel like these are the only 2 options that have a title with a color in them. And I do think I'm going to go with Brandon Sanderson. November is still fall time for the most part. I mean, in Minnesota, it definitely starts getting chillier. It's definitely a potential for snow and winter feeling, but I do think this would be really good to cozy up with in the fall time still. Time for prompt number 2. A cover the color of the shirt you are wearing. Okay, that's really fun. Fun fact, I was actually wearing a different shirt earlier today that was green, but now this one with my podcast merch is pink. So have a few contenders here on the TBR shelf. So first off, the cover of Betting on You is this beautiful pink color, and then it's got like the teal on it as well. And then the sprayed edges, of course, are so cute. This is another one of Lynn Painter's YA romance books. Contender number 1. The other contender is The Grace Year. This is a YA fantasy. I think when girls turn 16, they like get sent out to have to do something. I don't know exactly. Okay, I go into my books blindly for the most part. And I know this one has been on my radar for a while. Like, I've literally had it since my birthday in February, so I've had it for a hot minute. But I don't know if this is what I'm in the mood for right now. I think, honestly, I'm just gonna go with Betting on You because, if anything, it'll be a super fun little palate cleanser romance. I mean, I'm sure there'll be aspects of other things in it since Lynn Painter usually does that, but this one is about Charlie and Bailey who show up in Nothing Like the Movies, and I love Nothing Like the Movies. I love anything Lynn Painter writes, so this has to be good too. TBR jar prompt number 3 coming up. A book with animals on the cover. Okay. Honestly, I feel like this one might be more difficult. So a wren in the Holly Library has little, I would assume, wrens on it, these little birds. So this one could be cute, and this one is on my fantasy fall TBR, so it'd also be nice to get that one out of the way. And then An Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love also has this bird on it. Not sure what kind of bird that is, but this is like an academia romance. Okay, honestly, I think those are the only books I have with an animal on the cover. Well, I already have another one, but that one's already picked out for my TBR. So I think in this case, we are going to go with this one because, like I said, it was already on my TBR. I think this one's more of a dystopian fantasy, but I'll get more to that later. TBR jar prompt number 4. A book with a one-word title. Okay, I feel like this one's gonna be hard. Okay, I think literally our only option is Collide. This is a hockey romance, and I really enjoy hockey romances, at least the ones I've read. I've enjoyed, so I think this one would be fun, and I think the second book in this series is coming out early next year, so it would be good to read before that one comes out. TBR jar prompt number 5. A book that has a map. Okay, so we're going fantasy, obviously, with this prompt. Does this one have a map on it? I don't remember. Ooh, okay, so Beneath These Cursed Stars does have a map in it. This is a spin-off series from These Hollow Vows. I'm sure The Night Ends with Fire also would have a map. Yeah, it looks like it. Here's the map for The Night Ends with Fire. 5 Broken Blades. Again, I assume there's a map in here. Oh my gosh, I forget how stunning this book is under the just cover. I mean, the edges are stunning as well. Everything about this book is stunning, so I'm sure it has a stunning map, right? Yes, here is the map for 5 Broken Blades. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning toward Beneath These Cursed Stars since I already am introduced to this world. It's about the sister of the main character from the other series, so I just feel like it'd be really easy to get into, and it'd be a YA romantasy, I'm assuming. Maybe love triangle. These Hollow Vows series has a little love triangle in it, so I'm not sure if there's going to be a love triangle in this series as well. But Sarah J. Maas was reading this book when it came out, and I would say definitely read These Hollow Vows if you like ACOTAR because it kind of gives the same vibes. TBR jar prompt number 6. Oh, if I can get one out. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do this one. A book in a series you have started. This, you guys, might give me the perfect opportunity to read more Anna Wong because I read The Striker in, what month are we in right now? October. And I really enjoyed it. It's just like every time I read an Anna Wong book, it reminds me how much I love her writing style. So I could definitely use this as an excuse to read another Anna Wong book. Oh, the first one is If Love Had a Price. This is book number 3 in the If Love series. It's kind of, this one can be read as a standalone, but it's the same characters from the rest of the universe. Or we could read King of Pride. I love King of Wrath. I don't really know why I didn't pick up the rest of the series right away, but it's just kind of been sitting on my shelf. So I don't know if I want to do this or the If Love series. Okay, I think I'm going to go with If Love Had a Price just because this is her earlier work. So I feel like it makes sense to read her older books first before I read some of the newer books in case any of these characters or anything happening in these books were to come up in her later books, since even though she does have multiple different series, it all takes place in the same world, in the same universe, and there are a lot of cameos of characters in separate series. So I'm gonna go with this one. I am really excited to get back into this. Okay, last TBR prompt. Ooh, I can't get it. I want this one. Let's see what she says. A book you predict will be 5 stars. Oh. Okay. We have some high stakes going on with this one, people. What do I predict will be 5 stars? This is so tricky. Okay, I just had to take a moment to look over every single book on my TBR shelf, and I am going to go with Angel Falls by Kristen Hanna. I love Kristen Hanna so much. Like, literally anything she writes, I feel like I have rated it 5 stars, other than Fly Away, which is the Firefly Lane sequel. I didn't love that one as much. I think I probably gave it like a 4-star rating still. I just read The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, and yeah, I'm in a Kristen Hanna mood because I'm obsessed with her. Her writing is magical. So this one, I have no doubt, will be just as sad and heartbreaking as every other Kristen Hanna book, but sometimes you just need a good book like that. I'm recruiting my husband just for funsies because why not?
Alright, do I have to pick from like these top two or is it anywhere?
Top two are more priority, but
Okay.
I really don't care. You can choose from anywhere your heart desires.
Okay. Looking at my options. I'm looking at The Night Ends with Fire here. This phoenix on the front just really catches my attention.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was a phoenix there.
Yeah.
Well, guys, there was another contender for a book with a cover with animals on it. My bad.
See, I'm onto something.
I already chose a book for that one, though.
Oh, okay. Well, then also looking at what we got here, I got you the Scarlet Letter a while ago. Well, this is a little overbearing. Let me see, I guess, what else we got here. This is like
That's a novella.
I was gonna say, this is a short novella, so this would kind of help pick up that little bit of keeping things moving. This was the limited edition one, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With the purple, I recall. I listen. I remember getting you 5 Broken Blades, but it feels like one of those, like, cringy books that, like, Target sells or something, maybe. I don't know.
No,
I might just be jumping the gun on that, but I just feel like...
I don't think so. I don't know. I just haven't had, like, the inkling to read it.
Okay. Priority.
Hey, I'm a mood reader.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess I'm gonna go with the Night Ends with Fire. Coming back to this, I think it looks sick. I remember the PR package you got for this was really cool. So, here's my pick.
Okay, and now that I have all my books picked out, I'm gonna go over everything, including the ones I already had on my mind. So, first we have A Torch Against the Night. I didn't quite get to this in October, so I definitely want to in November. And then I want to try and get the third book in the series done as well. This is A Reaper in the Gates, and these are part of the Ember in the Ashes series, which I loved the first book. I gave it a 5-star rating in September, so definitely want to continue the series and see if it is just as good as the first book. Then for this next one, I need your guys' help a little bit. So I'm currently reading A Serpent in the Wings of Night, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not obsessed with it so far. I am over halfway done, and I'm just not getting the hype, but I definitely want to continue the series, so please let me know if I should read the novella first, or just like the second book and then read the novella after that. Just let me know the reading order, so I'll either read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, or 6 Scorched Roses. I don't know if I'll get to both of these in the month, just because, again, if I'm not loving the first book, I don't want to like force myself to read the series if I'm not really feeling it. So just let me know the reading order, please. Or I should say your suggested reading order, since it doesn't really matter what the reading order is. I then have the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. This is a small town cozy romance where the female main character runs this bookstore and also a book club within that, and the male main character is pining after her so hard that he joins the book club. Like, does that just not sound like he's literally a cinnamon roll? I am already obsessed with him, and I haven't even read this book, but I am going on a little weekend getaway to a small town here in Minnesota, so I thought this one would be really fun to bring with to that, just to like match the cozy vibes of what I'm reading and where I'm actually at. Then we have The Secret History. This is like a dark academia. I don't know if it's categorized as a classic per se, but I do think it's like relatively old. I don't know. 92 this came out, so I don't know if it's a classic then or if it's just like an older book, but I know a lot of people love this, but I also heard a lot of people don't like it as much. But I'm just trying to get into dark academia. With that being said, I also have An Education in Malice. I don't know if this one's like a fantasy dark academia or what. Ooh, it's in Massachusetts. I love Massachusetts. Oh yeah, it does say, tangled in a sinister game of politics, bloodthirsty professors, and magic, Laura and Carmilla must decide how much they are willing to sacrifice in their ruthless pursuit of knowledge. So it definitely sounds like there is a fantasy aspect to this one as well, which is super fun. And then another dark academia book I want to read is A Study in Drowning. This is a YA fantasy dark academia, like Rivals to Lovers, I'm pretty sure. And we saw my husband picked out The Night Ends with Fire, which was a contender for one of our TBR prompts. So that's kind of funny that he chose one that was a contender for that. And also, like so unrelated, but this book is so abnormally heavy, I feel like. I don't know what the material is, but this is like, it's thick. It is heavy duty, that's for sure. And then you saw I chose Angel Falls by Kristen Hanna. I think this one, the wife is in a coma, so then her husband has to like care for the family on his own because she's in a coma. And it just sounds very sad and heartbreaking. And you know, sometimes you just need a book like that. We then have If Love Had a Price by Anna Wong. This is the third book in the If Love series. This one is in Los Angeles. All of the books in this series are in a different city, I'm pretty sure. And this one has fake dating, opposite worlds, she's the billionaire, ice princess, and struggling actor. They make a deal for money, and then family drama. So honestly, it sounds like what you need for just like getting out of a slump or a nice palate cleanser. Beneath These Cursed Stars by Lexi Ryan. Again, this is a spin-off from the These Hollow Vows duology, and I think this one is also going to be a duology, but only this first book is out right now. And this is a YA fantasy with lots of romance in it. It has fae with the Seelie and Unseelie court, so like enemies to lovers sometimes, rivals to lovers, whatever you want to call it. It's got that, and it's really, really fun. But the main character is actually human, but in the first book, or in the These Hollow Vows series, she gets taken into the fairy realm, so I don't know if she's going to be sticking around in the fairy realm with her sister, or what's going to be up with this one, but I'm really excited to find out. Collide by Bal Cabra. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this says, she's an honors student with ambitious graduate school plans, and he's a jock with only hockey on his mind. But once their worlds collide, their connection is hot enough to melt the rink. So this sounds like a fun, fluffy hockey romance palette cleanser once again. The Wren in the Holly Library, like I said earlier, I think this one's a little bit more dystopian. Like in this universe, there are what's called the monsters, and then there was this whole monsters treaty going on, created because of the monsters. And I don't know, it says there are legends in our world, tales of beasts and beauties, creatures and stories that would keep you up at night, of monsters born. All those stories you've heard come from a kernel of truth. And that just sounds so fun to me, because I am 100% a believer in like folklore, like, you know, all these mythical beings and stories that people tell you, like, they had to have come from somewhere, because it's hard to just make stuff up, right? So this is very intriguing. Then Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I think this one is more so like an opposites attract, enemies to lovers, which, like, how much enemies can you really be in a YA romance? But, you know, like, she does not like him, but he likes her. I don't know. I think it'll be very, very cute. I am honestly just obsessed with the look of this book overall, so I can't wait to read this one. Again, gonna be a nice palette cleanser. And lastly, we have Tress of the Emerald Sea. I'm not sure what this one is all about, other than it being like a cozy fantasy where Tress is on this island, and I think there's some pretty unique magic or powers throughout it, so that's really cool. And I'm really excited to get into Brandon Sanderson, because I actually want to start the Mistborn series in December, so that'd be great if I read this one before then. Anyways, those are all of the books that I will hopefully be able to get through in the month of November. Please let me know if you've read them, or what your thoughts are, or what is on your November TBR. Also, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye!